I'm Jacob.
And I'm Cameron.
This video will provide an overview of the planning and undertaking of an Explorer Belt. We will use our own experiences of our own Explorer Belt to the Faroe Islands in 2019 to give you an example to help you in undertaking your own adventure of a lifetime.
We will be referring to Reach Out and Explore, the Explorer Belt information for participants, which is available on the Scout's website and gives detailed information about all the areas we cover.
Helping you along the way will be a mentor who will guide you through the planning process,
and a supervisor who will oversee your expedition.
The Explorer Belt is the adventure of a lifetime. It takes the form of a 10-day expedition to a foreign country that brings you a real understanding of a country's culture, people and way of life.
It is completed by small teams of Explorer Scouts over the age of 16 or members of Scout Network. Teams will need to be supervised. For explorers, this takes place in the country, whereas for Network, this can take place remotely. Reach Out and Explore will be an invaluable resource for your planning. It provides a detailed look at each area you need to consider.
As part of our team's planning process, we created a development plan style document, which was a one-stop shop to track our progress.
We did this by breaking down each requirement and making it into a target with action points and deadlines, which were then assigned to a team member. We found this really useful as it made it clear who needed to do what and by when.
Communication will be vital to achieving the Explorer Belt. Our team and mentor communicated internally through a group chat and email, and we also shared documents through Dropbox. Meeting in person every 6 to 8 weeks throughout the planning process was a very useful method of communication too, particularly when it came to discussing finances or route planning. Our Faroese contact communicated with us via email.
The first thing Reach Out and Explore discusses is picking your team. This is vitally important as you'll be working closely with them during your planning and will be with them for 10 days during your Explorer Belt itself. When choosing a team, consider things such as age and availability, and also things closely related to your Explorer Belt, such as sharing a destination, common views on a major project, and what kind of skills each team member can bring to the team.
Our team comprised of Ben and Katie from North Devon Network and Jacob and Cameron from Plymouth Network. We formed at the Explorer Belt workshop in September of 2018. We found that this workshop was a fantastic opportunity to explore potential destinations, projects and teammates. Overall, we found it a very useful experience, and the guidance that was given to us by the Devon Scouts Explorer Belt support team was invaluable.
Secondly, Reach Out and Explore discusses choosing locations. When choosing a location, the best thing you can do is lots of research and be open-minded, as there may be more than one location that provides an exciting challenge. Consider the cost and your ability to travel to the potential country.
For example, it took our team 2 flights to reach the Faroe Islands, which added time and cost to the journey.
Also, think about the cost and ease of travelling around a potential country.
For example, again, the Faroe Islands have an extensive and well-connected public transport system, including buses and ferries.
You will also need to consider how safe a potential destination may be. Guidance can be sought from your ACC International. A major project will also influence your choice of destination, as will a desire to experience certain cultures or cultural activities. The best locations are accessible, are places all team members would like to visit, large enough to travel around, and are places that promote interaction with local people.
All the members of our team had a shared desire to visit the Faroe Islands. This location was chosen as it was easy to travel to and around, wasn't too expensive, was relatively safe, with a very strong scouting presence, and importantly, we wanted to explore their very unique culture.
Fundraising and budgeting is another area that you need to consider. If you're in your budget, you will need to consider large costs such as travel to your destination country and also around the destination country, the cost of kit, travel insurance, accommodation, provisions, and also an emergency fund. You may be eligible for grants, so speak to your supervisor.
Our budget was an effort that whilst one team member took the lead on, we all definitely played a part. For our team, the greatest spend was on our flights to and from our destination. Other large costs included overnight accommodation and food. We researched these costs before our trip and loaded money into prepaid cards, which was a very simple way of tracking our spending.
Agreeing on a major project is a very important step in your planning. Reach Out and Explore suggests that, among other things, a good major project is interesting to everyone in the team, is unique to the country visiting, and also encourages interaction with local people. Your major project must take about 15 hours to complete in total. Travelling around your country and meeting local people should be the important focus.
During our research on the Faroe Islands, we discovered that geographical isolation was a major factor in the nation's development and culture. This led us to our major project title, to explore how the Faroe Islands isolation impacts the way of life and how those resultant challenges have been overcome. We chose it because we felt that it would encourage us to meet more people away from the tourist areas and therefore give us a more realistic experience of the Faroese way of life.
10 minor projects are set by the assessing panel. You will receive them as you start your Explorer Belt.
During our Explorer Belt, our minor projects made us interact with local people. Our 3 favourites to complete were 1. To take a photo with the local shopkeeper. We did this at Tutel Records in Torshavn, where we met the shopkeeper called Danya, who talked to us about her experiences growing up in a small village.
2. Find out about Faroese Scout activities and sections. Local Rowe Scout Elsa Maria met us at the Scout House in Torshavn and gave us lots of information about local scouting, as well as places to visit.
And 3. We visited a local farmer's smallholding. On the island of Norsøy, we met Edvard, who agreed to give us a waffle at the cafe in exchange for doing some weeding on his smallholding, just below the Nollywood sign. Lots of planning before our visit certainly helped us have a very successful trip. However, there are always some unexpected events that happen. For example, when we went camping on the island of Norsøy, we had planned to do some sheep shearing with some local farmers the next day. However, the weather had other ideas, so we instead spent time travelling to the island of Suðuroy and spent our 2 favourite days there.
While it is important to have fun on an Explorer Belt, everything you do must be done safely. A risk assessment will need to be completed, and you will need to consider a number of potential incidents. To help with this step, speak to your mentor and go to the Scout's website where examples can be viewed. Before you travel, you'll need to be able to demonstrate to your mentor that you are all competent in several areas, including navigation skills, lightweight camping, first aid, travel proficiency, and team building.
To help us demonstrate to our mentor that we could meet these competencies, we undertook a mini Explorer Belt 4 months before we travelled. We visited the South Downs National Park. As well as demonstrating to our mentor we could meet some of the competencies, we were also able to familiarise ourselves with working with a budget, finding suitable accommodation, creating logbooks and communicating with supervisors. It also enabled us to work better as a team, and it also gave us a very good opportunity to familiarise ourselves with the equipment we would be using during the expedition.
You will need to maintain a logbook during your adventure. The information you record in your logbook will form a vital resource for your debrief and your presentation. It can be in the form of something like a written book or a video. It will need to contain information such as how far you've travelled each day, how much money you've spent, and the people you have met. A full list is available in Reach Out and Explore.
We chose to have written logbooks, and we documented our experiences each evening. We also added in things we had collected along the way, such as leaflets and maps. These were very useful for when we met with our supervisors to do our debrief, when we were balancing the books upon our return home, and when we gave our presentations. Also, for posterity's sake, our team elected to run a Facebook page with daily updates on what had occurred during our time. This allowed our friends and family at home to follow along with our adventure, and was another record we used in conjunction with our written logbooks to aid in the creation of our presentation.
A debrief will need to take place between you, your team and your mentor within 24 hours of the final day of your Explorer Belt, or within 24 hours of your return to the UK. When you do return home, you will need to also deliver a presentation of around 30 minutes in length to an assessment panel and other invited guests to share your brilliant experiences and achievements. You will then be assessed to determine whether you have successfully achieved your Explorer Belt.
In conclusion, undertaking our Explorer Belt was the adventure of a lifetime, one we thoroughly enjoyed and would recommend to any Explorer or Network member.
Finally, we would like to give you our 5 best tips to help you complete your Explorer Belt. Number 1, always have a plan B and don't be afraid to use it.
2, be adaptable. Opportunities may arise unexpectedly. Some of our best experiences were entirely unplanned.
3, people make the trip. The best memories are memories with people.
Number 4, fill in your logbooks every day. Very small details can be easily forgotten.
Number 5, enjoy it. And the time taken in planning will ultimately be worthwhile.